And what we're doing today is we're conducting what we call a voting machine test. Every county in Tennessee is required to do this prior to every election. We've had all of our machines that you're going to see back here behind me. They're locked and secured. We have 4 cameras in the warehouse here. We have obviously alarms on the doors, alarms on the building. You see the high fence right here. All of these machines are programmed by a team of Republican and Democratic workers that work for the Election Commission. And this test is designed to make sure that after they program them, which they've already done, we're going to randomly pick a precinct today from all of the 103 precincts across Knox County. And then we're going to cast some test ballots, if you will, to make sure that number one, when we open the machine up, there are 0 votes on the machine. And then ultimately after that, when we run all these through, we're going to make sure that every candidate on the ballot gets at least 1 vote. We're going to make sure that every candidate, every race on the ballot has an overvote, an undervote, an overvote being you vote for both candidates, for instance. An undervote being that you vote, you don't vote for anybody in that race. We're going to make sure that every write-in spot gets a vote. We're going to make sure we're going to try basically and see if the machine can catch our mistakes ultimately. But ultimately what we want is we want to show that all of the machines have been programmed, they've been programmed properly, and that when ballots are run through them, they're run through and everything is accurate as it should be. Standards right here is actually what, when all of y'all go to vote, you'll literally run the paper through there. Knox County votes on paper, and we've been voting on paper now for a little over 2 years. I think this will be election number 7, I believe, since we've gone back to voting on paper. We started in August of 2020, and we believe it's a good thing for us, because ultimately, if there's a question about the election, if there's a close contest, if a candidate files a contest of election, then we're able to go back and actually, if a judge deems it that we do that, then we actually go back and get the paper ballots and recount them, and if need be, we can run them through another scanner, run them by hand. After this upcoming November election, as required by law, we actually do a post-election audit, where we will audit 5 election day precincts and 1 early voting precinct. And so it's one of those processes that, literally you take the ballot, you fill it out, you guys have voted. We run it through the scanner counts the vote. If there's ever a discrepancy, then we've got those paper ballots to fall back on. So I feel very good about Knox County's way of voting. I know there are different methods of voting throughout East Tennessee. Some still vote on the machines where they push a button. Some will still do the one where they turn the wheel. But no matter what it is, I think Tennessee's done a really good job of putting in checks and balances and processes and procedures, ultimately where we can look the voter in the eye and say your vote counts and your vote counts.
Here's something we test. We fold these things up and verify that, somebody maybe walking with a walker would, maybe hold this thing in their hand.
It doesn't matter which way it's inserted or which page it's inserted first.
Okay, here we go. Cast ballot as is. So 23 ballots, 46 sheets. That's our first logic check. Close the polls, and we're going to print off a tally of all the votes, just as you would on election night. Normally, this thing would print 3 copies. We don't need 3 copies for the purpose of today's test. We just need a single copy. Now we need to take this and verify that the number of votes that this thing tabulated matches what we put in.
Our hand tabulation gave us.
Bill Lee 1.
Yes.
Martin 2.
Yes.
Every 0.
Correct.
Yes 3.
Yes.
No 3.
Yes.
Undervotes 2.
Yes.
Overvotes 1.
Yes.
No 4.
Yes.
Undervotes 2.
Yes.
Overvotes 1.
Yes.
Amendment 4. Yes 2.
Yes.
No 4. Undervotes 2.
Yes.
Overvotes 1.
Yes.
There you go.
And then a DNR to go with it. Although frankly, I think I'd like to have all 4 of y'all sign it.
Okay.
If they're comfortable with it, since they program.
Yeah,
Guys,
sure.
y'all sign off on all this. Got one more.